What's up, guys? RC Thunder here. Today, I will be going over my opinion on every season of Celebration event. And this is a list of all of them. There were a total of 20 major events this season. And I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see. Kalos Celebration. Pros: Chespin, Fennekin, Froakie, Litleo, Bunnelby, Fletchling, Noibat, and Klefki made their debut. Most of them were fairly common in the wild. They all continued to appear even after event hours, and event-exclusive music and confetti were used. Cons: Noibat takes 400 candies to evolve, and it's extremely rare. And Klefki has a Bouffalon and Kangaskhan situation, where it's a regional that only appears in one area, that being France. I mean, I understand because Bouffalon only appears in New York because Unova is based on New York. And it only appears in France because France is what Kalos is based on. Yeah. And all of the new Pokemon at first had way too low of a catch rate. Thank God they fixed this later, because we had Bunnelby encounters that had the same odds as legendaries, which was ridiculous for a Route 1 rodent Pokemon. Secrets of the Jungle. Pros: the release of Shiny Celebi, a Celebi that I never thought we'd get. A shiny that I never thought we'd get anytime soon. The return of Jesse and James, and the return of Shadow Shiny Scyther and Shadow Shiny Pinsir. Just boom. Cons: the only con is that Explorer Pikachu is now a legacy costume. December Community Day 2020. Pros: all previous Community Day Pokemon were appearing. The entire event lasted 2 days, and everything spawning was shiny and shiny boosted. And all other Community Day Pokemon were in either raids or eggs. So the wild spawns had 2020 Community Day Pokemon, and the Community Day Pokemon from the previous years were all in raids and eggs, which was nice. And all Community Day Pokemon evolved during the event got their exclusive moves. There are really no cons during this event. The only con is really on me because I didn't grind that hard, so I couldn't get all the shinies. And of course, the 2 shinies I really wanted, Piplup and Rhyhorn, I just couldn't get for the life of me. So yeah. Regitrio Raid Weekend. Pros: the return of Regirock, Registeel, Regice, and all of them had their shinies available. The cons: nothing in particular. Again, it was just your typical raid weekend, so yeah, it was pretty basic. Tap Tap Tap. Pros: the debut of Galarian Mr. Mime and Mr. Rhyme, and the special research had decent rewards. The only con is that the entire event was locked behind a paywall. The spawns, the special research, the incense spawns, and even Galarian Mr. Mime itself. They didn't even put Galarian Mr. Mime in 7Ks. It was locked behind that. Holiday Event 2020. Pros. The debut of Vanillite, the return of Delibird, and the return of the Jingle Bell Stantler costume. Cons. It's the fact that Delibird had a pointless costume on. Who, in their right mind, thought that giving Delibird, an already event-exclusive Pokemon, a bow on its head? I mean, I understand. I mean, it was Christmas and all, but like, dude, Delibird is already exclusive to your holiday event. There was just no reason to give it a costume. God, what's next? Is the Halloween event? Are they gonna give Yamask an actual COVID mask? Jeez. And also, Vanillite had a disgustingly low catch rate. It had very similar catch rate problem to Bunnelby, but Vanillite was much worse because Vanillite was spawning at a much higher CP than Bunnelby, so it was truly just like catching a legendary. Literally half the Vanillite that I encountered managed to break out of an Ultra Ball curveball throw and run from me. And they were just so hard to grind with because obviously I had limited Pokeballs, and also they were just so irritating. And the Pikachu in the snowman costume, this may or may not come back later in the holidays, but it may be legacy. There's a good chance that it may not come back and it will be legacy. And they're just gonna have to put another Pikachu Christmas costume, like maybe Pikachu just as Santa and Eevee just as an elf or something. I don't know. New Year's 2021. Pros. The return of Party Hat Wurmple, the debut of Slowpoke with 2020 glasses, and Slowbro with 2021 glasses. And a cool thing about this is that, as a nice little detail, to basically say goodbye and good riddance to 2020, if you evolve Slowpoke in the 2020 glasses, it became a Slowbro with 2021 glasses. As a nice little metaphor for progressing from 2020 to 2021. And honestly, just watching 2020 turn into 2021 right before my eyes was just so satisfying because 2020 had so many things wrong with it, and I'm not even going to begin. The debut of New Year's Pikachu, well, they had other hats for Pikachu, but this is the first one that's truly New Year's themed. And it was pretty simple. It was just a purple top hat. But hey, it was still a collector's. And all costume Pokemon were able to be shiny. Cons. All of the costume Pokemon featured, except Wurmple, are all legendary. Unova Celebration. Pros. The release of Shiny Snivy. Fun fact, Snivy was a pretty weird choice for a new Shiny release because not only were there so many other Pokemon featured during the event that did not have their Shinies released, but also Snivy was the first Shiny starter Pokemon to not have their Shiny released for a community day. I mean, Snivy does get a community day later on, but it wasn't a new shiny for that. But I think it was a very weird choice because there were so many other Pokemon they could have picked. Also, the introduction of collection challenges. And Pokemon spawning were pretty rare at the time. For example, Pidove was spawning, Lileep was spawning, Roggenrola was spawning. All of those Pokemon were pretty rare for Season of Celebration. And they're cool because all of them can be shiny, and now they're actually featured spawns for this Season of Discovery. Cons. Not a lot of things could be shiny at the time. So, Tepig couldn't be shiny, Oshawott can't be shiny, at least not right now. Let me see, Drillbur couldn't be shiny, Gothita couldn't be shiny, and I know that was featured. Yeah, it was just so many things that couldn't be shiny. Sinnoh Celebration. Pros. The release of Shiny Buizel. There was a collection challenge that was free, and Cranidos and Shieldon were spawning, and they are very rare. What's cool is that I did manage to get a shiny Cranidos for Ultra Unlock Part 1, and I'm so happy because it was the one I wanted, and the odds of me being able to get this Pokemon as a shiny again are very slim. So I'm glad I got it. Cons. A lot of things featured couldn't be shiny at the time. So, Combi can't be shiny. Stunky can't be shiny. Cranidos and Shieldon couldn't be shiny at the time. Starly couldn't be shiny. Bidoof couldn't be shiny. The only real things featured that you were able to shiny hunt were the starters, Weasel, and a couple of others. I forget. Hoenn Celebration, which in my opinion, this celebration was the worst. And you'll see why. Pros. Aeron was shiny boosted. And there was a collection challenge. That's it. Because the cons include, well, there's only one, but there were no new shinies. I know for a fact that Numel and Gulpin were featured. They were featured spawns, and both of their families have pretty good shinies. Yet, they just say, oh, they're Ditto disguises, we can't drop them. So they just don't drop any shinies at all. They just shiny boost a shiny Pokemon that almost every player probably has. Just so frustrating. Johto Celebration. Pros. The release of Shiny Miltank, the collection challenge, and most things were capable of being shiny. I feel like the Johto Celebration was the best, unless you count Kanto Tour, but yeah. The release of Shiny Miltank is a con if you're M&J TV, but it's a dub for me because Miltank isn't really all that likable of a Pokemon, but it does have a very nice shiny, turning a nice blue. And the collection challenge and most things were shiny. The con is that some Pokemon in the collection challenge were very difficult to find. This was the first challenge where the only things where some things were limited to field research. And the only Pokemon I had left were Azumarill and Sudowoodo. And Sudowoodo and Azumarill were only in research. Not to mention Smeargle was a part of it, and so I needed to take a snapshot, which was kind of a pain, because I couldn't get it to spawn for the life of me. Machop Community Day. Pros. Machop was greatly shiny boosted, and Machoke, who were evolved during the event, became Machamp with Payback. Now on to the cons. Being that Machamp was not a new shiny, and Payback is really not that good for Machamp. I mean, sure, it's good against Psychic types, and that's about it. Because a lot of Psychic types in Pokemon Go can learn Confusion, which can absolutely decimate a Machamp. So just, if you want cover against a type, go for Heavy Slam. It's much better against all those fairy types that know Charm. Yeah. Sneasel Research Day. Pros. Sneasel was shiny boosted and just everything was free. There were no tickets, nothing behind a paywall. There was just nothing holding you back from catching a whole bunch of shiny Sneasel. The cons include nothing in particular. Yeah, it was great. Mareep Incense Day. Pros. Pokemon spawning were pretty good. I mean, we had electric types, dragon types, and Pokemon that evolved into dragon types. And the cons include that spawns were limited to just incense. That is true for every other Incense Day that I cover in this series. And the spawns were limited to incense. Sorry, I just covered that. What is wrong with me? Nothing was shiny boosted. Roselia Community Day. Pros. Roselia was greatly shiny boosted. Roselia evolved during the event became Rose Raid with the exclusive moves Bullet Seed and Fire-type Weather Ball. But the cons include is that Roselia is not a new shiny, and the move combo was just so bad. Team Go Rocket Celebration. God, I'm losing my voice. Pros. New Shadow Pokemon releases. The return of Team Go Rocket Leader stickers. Wave 2 of Strange Eggs removed Trubbish and had Quillfish, Larvitar, Corphish, Absol, Skorupi, Sandile, Scraggy, Ponyard, Vullaby, and Dino. Team Go Rocket balloons are appearing more frequently. New Team Go Rocket Leader lineups. The release of Shadow Shiny Carvana and Shadow Shiny Aerodactyl, and the return of Shadow Shiny Beldum. Cons. Nothing in particular. Kanto Tour. Pros. Every single Kanto Pokemon is able to be shiny now. Different hours represented different areas in Kanto. And the event-exclusive music is very catchy. Personally, my favorite is the Pallet Town theme. And just hearing it on the music as all of the Kanto Pokemon spawned and all of the confetti just started raining down, it just made my heart sing. And a contest was hosted where winners could have their avatar be able to appear at Pokestops and other players could potentially battle them. That was a very cool concept, and for a future event like this, I hope that they could do that again. Cons. Only one big con in this is that all of the best features, such as Shiny Ditto, Shiny Mew, the collection challenges, the special research stories, and even the shiny boosts were all locked behind a paywall. The only reason I caught a shiny during that event is because it was an Aerodactyl, and Aerodactyl is a perma boost. Lunar Year 2021, the Year of the Ox. Pros. A timed research led to 2 encounters with Tauros no matter where you were. Red-themed Pokemon were spawning, the debut of Mega Gyarados, and Gyarados is now able to be shiny in the wild. It's always a tradition for every Lunar Year event to drop shiny Gyarados in the wild for a limited time, but since Mega Gyarados is now a thing, Gyarados is always like that now. Cons is that there's no new shinies. I mean, I know that that Gyarados was a shiny, but it's not a new shiny. It's in fact the original Pokemon Go shiny. Valentine's Day 2021. Pros. Debut of Mana, the collection challenge, and the return of Latios and Latias. And the surprise release of Shiny Alola Mola. Cons. The collection challenge was way too costly to complete. There were so many Pokemon, like Umbreon, Espeon, Latios, and Latias, that were only in raids, so you would have to spend Pokecoins on raid passes to do them, and it was just such a pain. Kanto Raid Day. Pros. All of the Kanto legendary Pokemon were appearing in raids, and all of them had a 1 in 10 chance of being shiny. Cons. Nothing in particular. Alright guys, so next I will be doing the Season of Legends, and then I will do the Season of Discovery once that ends, after the Sword and Shield event. And hopefully, Season 4 of Pokemon Go brings us some really fun memories. Alright, this is RC Thunder signing off. Have a good day, and goodbye.